Guys, happy Saturday. I am drinking some of that community coffee that I brewed in my French press, and I just put the Reishi elixir packet directly into the basin of the French press, and it diffused in and really flavored the coffee nicely. I love the Reishi. It kind of gives things it's almost like the same effect as adding mint to things. And I know that sounds odd with coffee, but you know how sometimes mint kind of brings up certain flavors? The Reishi packet in particular does that with the coffee. It just kind of brings out a different sort of note in the flavor of the coffee. And I'm really getting that here with the community. My goodness, I get like almost like a sommelier with coffee. I really do experience a lot of flavors with coffee and mood elevation. Anyways, I went to the P.O. box this week, and a kind viewer from Australia sent me Asclear, which is 20% azelaic acid. You can get this over the counter in Australia, and I'm almost certain it's very inexpensive there, as it should be. This is a great medication. It goes by the name Skinnerin here, or Azelaic. Also, Phenacia gel is a lower percentage strength than this, and I'll explain that in a moment. But anyways, yeah, really an effective drug for many skin diseases, skin conditions, and dermatology. And I really wish that we would get it over the counter in the 15% and 20% strengths. When Differin became over the counter here in the States, that was huge. That was like the first FDA approved treatment for acne to become available over the counter in years and years and years. I mean, really, our hands were tied in terms of kind of giving patients treatments that they could just obtain over the counter easily and, continue to treat their acne in a maintenance way and not rely on having to go in and have prescription refills and that sort of thing. So when Differin became available over the counter, it has really just changed the practice a lot, and just making it easier for patients to have a treatment that is affordable. I mean, while it's FDA approved for acne, it's used for a lot of other things, and it's great to have that option for patients to just be able to go and buy it. It's so affordable, as opposed to negotiating with the insurance company, which is a beast. But anyways, when that became available over the counter, I thought to myself, why did they not do azelaic acid? Because the reason I was hoping also for azelaic acid, or would hope for, and would think it would almost be easier, is that azelaic acid is actually safe to be used during pregnancy as a treatment for acne or rosacea. So I was a little surprised they didn't just jump to azelaic acid first. I'd assume it would be easier to make it go through the approval process to become over the counter, but they didn't. They did adapalene, which I'm fine with, but I'd love to see azelaic acid, because adapalene is not necessarily something we would use to treat rosacea. Certain subtypes of rosacea might actually benefit from it, but this could help people not only with acne but also rosacea. So I really had hoped, or I do hope, that this will be over the counter one day as well. I have a video talking about azelaic acid, but just to remind you, azelaic acid is technically a dicarboxylic acid. It's actually made by that little yeast that lives on your skin and causes all sorts of skin problems. Pityrosporum, the guy who's responsible for dandruff, seborrhea, tinea versicolor, fungal acne, all those annoying things that you have to cope with. Yeah, he actually makes something useful, azelaic acid, and it does a lot of great things. It's anti-inflammatory. Specifically, it binds to toll-like receptor 2, and it inhibits toll-like receptor 2, which is part of your innate immune system. So when you first put crap on your skin, like from Sephora, your innate immune system goes, ah! And then your adaptive immune system adapts and figures out how to reject things in a more sophisticated way. But innate immunity is kind of like our first line defense, and it gets upregulated in a lot of inflammatory diseases, rosacea and acne, for example. So it knocks that down, binds and reduces the levels of some other inflammatory mediators in the innate arm of the immune system. in the skin to help calm down redness, irritation, help acne heal better, and also for people with hyperpigmentation, a real foot on the gas pedal, so to speak, for driving hyperpigmentation is inflammation in the skin. Any kind of inflammation, stuff you put on your skin, ongoing acne, that ongoing inflammation, it drives melanin synthesis as well, and it leads to persistent hyperpigmentation, persistent pigment production and hyperpigmentation, and it makes it take longer for hyperpigmentation to clear up. So azelaic acid can really put the brakes on that, so to speak. So it does those great things: anti-inflammatory, helpful for hyperpigmentation, and it also, let me get a sip in here. It also can help normalize keratinization, similar to a retinoid, although not to the same extent. It's not as good as retinoids. And by normalizing keratinization, I mean it just kind of will help with plugged up pores. It will help with kind of flaky buildup, uneven skin texture. It will just kind of help to smooth out the surface of the skin and just kind of help normalize that biology of your skin a little bit better. Just kind of, it's like a personal trainer for your skin. So it does that, yeah, it's a wonderful treatment for rosacea in particular, and acne. It's pretty good for acne. I mean, its benefit in acne, I would say, is that it's safe to use during pregnancy, and we don't have a whole lot that we feel 100% confident is safe in pregnancy. So, it's nice in that regard. But it performs a little subpar to things like tretinoin, for example, retinoids, but it's useful. It's a useful adjunct to those things, meaning it can be used alongside other prescription topicals without risk of, without like inactivating those ingredients, for example, in other words. So yeah, its downsides are like anything you put on your face, anything. People are going to experience irritation, tingling, unpleasant sensory experience with it. Several people will with azelaic acid. It can be a little drying. It's easier to hack. It's definitely easier to hack though than tretinoin. And so, expect that. It can be dry, it can be irritating. That's the case with pretty much everything, but definitely with azelaic acid. And so whenever, knowing that, if you are, attempting to combine it with other things, if those other things are also irritating, you're going to add more irritation. So it's a delicate balance between the side effects of dryness and irritation and getting actual results. So, as far as anti-aging benefit, anything that's anti-inflammatory and helps normalize keratinization is likely going to be helpful for imparting an anti-aging benefit, slowing down things that accelerate aging, improving the appearance of uneven skin texture that can occur with aging. It can, in normalizing keratinization and helping smooth out the surface, can also start to help your skin keep itself hydrated better and just perform better. So it's like a little performance enhancement. Anyways, now that I've talked up azelaic acid, comment below, those of you guys who use it. I know the Ordinary and Paula's Choice have a 10% strength. But the issue with the azelaic acid is really all in the formulation in terms of its bioavailability. So I don't know how effective, like those over-the-counter ones, the 10% ones, the Paula's Choice and the Ordinary one, I just don't know how good they are in terms of their formulation, if they're formulated properly for it to really be effective. And people will claim that they see benefit from it, which is great, but you never know if that's actually the drug doing it or really just that the product is in a moisturizing vehicle and they're deriving benefit from the moisturizing, that aspect of it rather than the actual active ingredient. But yeah, the reason I bring that up is because the 15% gel, Finacea gel, it's a lower percentage of azelaic acid, but the gel itself, the way that drug is formulated in Finacea, the way the azelaic acid is formulated, it's actually more bioavailable than in the older formulations of azelaic acid. Now, the reason I bring that up is because how azelaic acid is formulated into products or into the vehicle, like the inactive ingredients, how it's blended in or mixed in, and everything else is added to it, obviously affects its bioavailability quite a bit, given what I just told you. That being said, when you look at over-the-counter cosmeceutical formulations of azelaic acid, meaning non-drugs, see here in the States, azelaic acid cannot be sold as an over-the-counter treatment. It can only be sold as an ingredient in cosmeceuticals for like a cosmetic benefit. It can't claim any treatment outcome. Therefore, it's really hard to say, or when you look at those products like the Paula's Choice azelaic acid or the ordinary azelaic acid, it's really hard to objectively say this is in fact the same thing and this is in fact going to give you the same benefit. And when I tried the ordinary's azelaic acid, I was not impressed, and I really suspected that it might not have been formulated properly. But some people like it, and whether or not I'm not dismissing that they see benefit from it. Maybe it's the azelaic acid, maybe they formulated it properly, hard to say, or maybe it's simply the vehicle is nice and moisturizing and they're deriving benefit from using that. But personally, I've also used the Paula's Choice azelaic acid booster, and I rather enjoyed that and got along well with it. And I think that might be, I was a little more impressed with that. I don't know why. See, that's just a personal bias. Like there's no objectivity in that statement whatsoever. So but this I have a lot of confidence in. It's the actual drug. It's actual sold as an over-the-counter treatment in Australia. Unfortunately, here in the States, it's not. But anyways, wow. Didn't expect to dive into azelaic acid on a Saturday morning with such fervor, but the other thing that brings me joy that she also sent me, thank you so much, is As Clear Action has an SPF 30 sunscreen daily moisturizer. This has, they only put the active ingredients on here. They don't put the inactive ingredients. I'm assuming it's fragrance free. It has octinoxate, which is the same as octylmethoxycinnamate, and it also has Uvinol A+, which is diethyl amino hydroxybenzoyl hexyl benzoate. Uvinol A+ is a UVA filter, so it gives you good broad spectrum UVA coverage, good UVA 1 and UVA 2. And then it also has bimetrizinol, so great. Really great filters. SPF 30, and I'm just gonna put some on. I mean, I already have a full face of sunscreen, but why not? Let's get wild. See, I don't know if it has alcohol in it, but putting it on, I don't smell any alcohol. I kind of guess it might, just based on those filters, but wow, that goes on like a dream. No stinging, no burning. It doesn't have, I'm willing to bet $100. I'm not a betting person, so that's saying a lot. I'm willing to bet $100 this does not have fragrance, but I might lose $100. Speaking of Australia versus speaking of Australia, I need to go to, I need to remember the next time I'm in Kroger to pick up some Vegemite. I have developed a love for Vegemite. Viewers have sent me, at one point I had like 3 or 4 jars of Vegemite, and at first I was like, I don't know that I'm really that in love with this, but I started incorporating it into soups and things, and it's my jam. You definitely, like you guys over there, you just like smear it on toast and stuff, and I've started being able to do that. My palate has started to be able to hack that, but when I first tasted it, I was like, but it's really malty, and it kind of is like a like almost a umami flavor. You know what it's like, and where I find that it is a great what it's a great replacement for is miso. It's a good replacement for miso. This is nice, you guys. Like no pilling. I'm just putting, wow. It's not greasy. My teeth are probably a little yellow from the cafe. That is great. Hydrate and protect. Eggo. I like that. Thank you. You guys, this video is already probably really long. I I'm almost finished with The Coddling of the American Mind. Actually, you're propped up on it right now, so I won't pull it out, but I recommend this book. If you, I don't know, they make some really interesting arguments in the book, and I've found that I've enjoyed hearing the arguments. And I think it's a good read for someone who has a student or a child who may be going off to college or is in college. It just presents some interesting challenges that are very different, very unique from what you probably went through, or definitely from what I went through in my childhood, and then, you know, university and academic experiences were much different, obviously, than they are today. Wow, this book is eye-opening. Like, it's been a while since I have been in the undergraduate space, and just some of the things that they present in this book are really interesting to me, and they really emphasize how there's such a loss these days of unsupervised time in childhood and free range play. And, you know, thinking back to my childhood, I definitely had a lot of free play, and I definitely had a lot of unsupervised, you know, time. It's not as though I was like running around wild or rampant or anything, but I would be outside playing for a long time, most days, without any supervision. And, you know, I fell down, I got hurt, yeah, it's kind of scary and very sad that children, you know, it's what has replaced that is screen time. And screen time usage, social media usage, is actually associated with poor mental health. All of that social media really has had a negative impact on children and young adults on their mental health and you know, kind of their outlook on life. It's really sad and disturbing. And the take-home point is like, limit your screen time. One of the take-home points. It's really interesting that the way that youth now spend so much time just kind of looking at a screen. And they also point out that people have lost, children and young adults, they no longer are having those experiences of true human social interaction in real life. They're spending the time instead online and social media interactions, which are not real life, you know, and how that really distorts their emotional health, particularly, I mean, like everybody says, Instagram, you know, people pick their best pictures and they only show like happy things, like, you know, that's the reality of it. People want to show happy things or pretty things, but I think for a young child or, you know, teenager, I think they can start to develop a very skewed reality of what they should look like or be attaining, and what, you know, what they have to have, and they can feel like they're not enough, and that's just wrong. You know, back when I was growing up, we had like magazines to make us feel bad about ourselves, but they were at least, you know, you at least had to purchase them and, you know, take them home, and you know, once you read the magazine and felt bad about yourself, you know, then you go out with your friends, I guess, and forget about it. You know, there was a little bit more flexibility, but now it's really and you know, the thing about the magazines was those weren't real people. You know, they were models that were being paid and whatnot, and come to find out being airbrushed and, you know, touched up and whatnot. So you at least know that models or actors or actresses, this was their job to do this, and they were being paid for it. But the aspect of social media is like, these are real people, and they, you know, have these images on their feed that are perfect, and, you know, they do these great things, and you know, have these amazing trips, and it, you know, it really just makes for a very unattainable lifestyle view of how your life should look. And, you know, they're not showing all of the day-to-day struggles and that sort of thing, because nobody wants to look at that. You know, people go to Instagram to, you know, to be motivated and that sort of thing, but it turns out like too much social media, not a good thing. Anyways, guys, I have been talking for a long time, so I am going to get ready to go over to my mom's, because I missed Ty-B since we were out of town last weekend, and he stayed at the doggy daycare. I miss him, so I'm looking forward to seeing his cute little face. Tybee Bo! I missed you. Oh, you want to play with your little hedgehog? How was camp? Yeah, it was alright. Made some friends. Did you do some crafts, Tybee?
Hi everybody! Happy weekend!
Is that your dress that you got at Walmart?
No,
I remember you getting.
This is actually my stay-at-home moo-moo look.
Moo-moos are a good thing. It's been hot.
It's hot.
It is quite hot. My tomato plant is holding up though.
Good, good. How's Shrimpy?
The flowers that were bloomed, they have kind of wilted and expired.
Oh,
So I pulled those off so that they could make new ones.
generation.
Yeah. This morning I made some almond milk in my soy bella. I'm really enjoying that thing. You should get one. I timed myself today. It took 6 minutes because the amount of time that I let the French press steep for, that's how long it took me to make almond milk.
Did you have to soak your almonds, or you just let it?
I did soak them overnight, but I didn't count that as time in. But I don't think you actually have to soak them.
Well, maybe I will get one.
So I brought my planner over here, of course, because I take it with me everywhere. But I wanted to show you guys this page that I did from last week, the trip last weekend. Just using these stickers that I got on Yes Style. Aren't they cute? They're perfect. Like Veggie Heaven, our meal there is kind of I had that soup. So I have this little soup sticker. And then the Sweet Ritual ice cream. Wheatsville Co-op. She kind of looks like she's going to buy produce. And then walking on that trail. He kind of looks like he's hiking. Uncommon objects. Yeah, these stickers are really cute because they're actually really good quality and they're see-through. So it's kind of nice putting them down after you've written everything, just to kind of decorate things up. There was even a little origami crane sticker, which is the logo for Black Swan Yoga.
That Yes Style, they're a nice size because they
Yeah.
don't take up the whole box.
They don't take up a lot of space.
It's just a nice little. I'm gonna put that in my little to-do list.
Oh, what is that?
This at Michael's. I couldn't resist. I thought it was so cute.
Oh, that is cute.
It's the little mini. I think it's called a micro happy planner, but I'm just gonna use it to keep in my purse for like the grocery list and
Yeah, that's a good idea.
things like that. But isn't it cute?
That's really cute.
Yeah.
I might have to get one of those.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I have notebooks at the plan.
I know, but I always use them. Let's see, I want to read you some too.
What do you have? How are you? Are you still reading Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
No, I haven't. I've been reading this week, so
I enjoyed that.
I'm done watching TV too much.
Oh yeah, what are you watching?
Oh. I watched some movies on Netflix. I watched one called Selfless,
Yeah?
which was kind of like a sci-fi type. And then I also watched Black Butterfly with Antonio Banderas. And it was pretty good because it had a huge reversal twist in the end. That was good. But yeah. And I also watched a movie about West Texas that was so good. It had Jeff Bridges in it.
Oh, I like Jeff Bridges.
I think it was called Hell or High Water.
Mm-hmm. I'm wearing that pullover from Fabletics. I think of the stuff I got from Fabletics, it's actually my least favorite. It just kind of looks, I don't know, it reminds me of something that one of the Golden Girls would wear. But it's comfortable. I've got my
Blanche or
Dorothy. It reminds me of something Dorothy would wear in Golden Girls. But it's comfortable and it's got pockets. I'm wearing my Cuidado earrings. Kind of
Toby likes it.
rocking the cash look. You're excited. Anyways, guys, I'm going to close out the vlog here. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.